Going OFC right here.
Yes, it's rigged.
It's rigged.
Rigged, bro.
OFC.
freaking C gets one international team. One team can make it out of OFC to the World Cup automatically. There is an Interconfederation playoff spot available this time around, which is super interesting.
Yeah.
Because New Zealand has now qualified for the World Cup. Congratulations.
New Zealand.
Congratulations. They've done it for the first time since 2010, in large part because they didn't have to play that Interconfederation playoff. That was such a tradition for them coming out of the OFC region. Now, instead, because they defeated New Caledonia in the final, New Caledonia enters the Interconfederation playoff with the chance of maybe making a World Cup appearance, man.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Imagine if New Caledonia qualified for the World Cup. And that was kind of the sentiment going into this final, New Zealand against New Caledonia. 100 times out of 100 times, New Zealand's winning this game.
100, bro?
100. It's 100%.
I think so.
But you know what was fun, though? It was 0-0 for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
I was so proud. I was so impressed with New Caledonia, who, by the way, due to the political turmoil in their country, those players aren't even really playing football on a regular basis. They just have to set up friendlies just to keep themselves fit. And they show up to the OFC Nations World Cup qualifiers in the fall. They book themselves a place in the semifinals. They beat Tahiti 3-0, and they keep New Zealand to a goalless draw for 60 minutes. I was so happy with their performance overall because for those 60 minutes, honestly, none of it was luck. New Zealand couldn't break down New Caledonia. They did have a lot of the ball, but there were times where New Caledonia would get on the ball and at least stretch New Zealand to some extent. It really wasn't just total domination from New Zealand. They go on to win 3-0. It was expected, but I just want to say I'm so happy and impressed with the performance from the underdogs in New Caledonia. New Zealand do qualify for the World Cup, and it'll be fun to see them because they have such a young team mixed in with some big veterans like Chris Wood going off with Nottingham Forest and Michael Boxall, the Minnesota United defender. This is a good New Zealand team. Probably one of the best that they've had since they made the World Cup back in 2010. There's a lot of European talent mixed into the squad as well. And I think they're trying to prove themselves on the international stage. This is a huge opportunity for this island country.
Yeah, New Zealand goes through, and it's incredible for them. I mean, they're back into the World Cup. I think that's great. I think they suffer from a problem, though, that let's look at CONCACAF, for example. Many people will say that, you know, Mexico at their highest dominated CONCACAF, but ultimately didn't face off against an elite opponent, so we didn't have anybody to measure ourselves with, which ultimately showcased itself in those round of 16 matchups that we ended up losing. New Zealand suffers from that same problem, but times 10, man. Because at the end of the day, they don't face any truly competitive teams in the OFC region. I mean, Chris Wood in 5 games had 9 goals, bro.
Yeah.
9 goals. They went off, man. Did they even concede at any point? I don't think they did.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Maybe 1 goal, but
maybe
New Zealand just completely dominates this region. And at the end of the day, they're just going to look towards friendlies to maybe get a clear indication of where they match up against better teams. But that's the unfortunate part. I wish they had more competitive matches in the build to the World Cup because that just helps so much more with preparation. And they're going to go into the World Cup with some tough tests right off the bat that I would hope to see them overcome. So that is a problem that they face. Let's see if they can overcome it.
Yeah, I highlighted it during the OFC Nations Cup reactions that we did during the summer. It's interesting for New Zealand because they have an automatic spot, basically.
Yeah.
Every single World Cup, if they just show up, they will go to the World Cup.
Well, to the playoff, yeah.
No, they'll go.
In the past.
No, I mean now.
Well, now, absolutely. Now, yeah.
So it's an opportunity that you just can't pass up. Australia left the UFC after they defeated an island team 31-0.
Jesus Christ.
And so, but now you see Australia work for their World Cup spots. New Zealand shouldn't want to do that now because they have an automatic spot. I just don't think you can pass that up. What's interesting now is if you tell New Caledonia, Tahiti, Fiji, Papua New Guinea, if you say, hey, there's an automatic spot up for grabs now. Develop your players. You can just win, 5 games. If you win 5 games, not even win, just because 3 of them are group stage. If you win 2 knockout stage games, you can go to the World Cup. I think there's room over the next 10, 12 years to really develop the other island countries and just tell them, like, look, you are 5 games away from a World Cup. That's actually pretty insane.
Yeah.
It's the quickest path of any side in all of qualification. So I think maybe with that incentive, there can be opponents for New Zealand, because New Zealand ain't leaving the OFC, bro. They ain't leaving. But yeah, it's definitely a problem for them. It just comes down to friendlies.
Yeah, and then also I was looking at the Interconfederation playoff, and it's also different this time. Whereas in the past it was like one-off matches or maybe 2-leg matches. It's more of a bracket now.
Yeah.
And that's super interesting, man. I think that's kind of fun for a neutral viewer like myself, but for these teams, they're going to go through a lot. If you go to the Interconfederation playoff, you're going to go through a lot to even get there. Like, especially those Asian teams, we'll talk about it.
Oh,
We're talking about, like, maybe at the end of the day, 6-7 rounds of football to make it to the World Cup.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. New Zealand is through. New Caledonia is not out, though. They're not. They have a shot, man. So congratulations to both teams. Let's see where they end up, and let's see where we go next, man, with only 3 confederations left. Make your pick.
What do you want?
Take me to CONCACAF. Let's do CONCACAF. Yeah, take me home. I'm going to go home, man.
AFC.